Man, oh man, the NFL schedule, it just dropped, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Real Talk with MJ, where y'all know we always keep it real. I'm from Philly. We talk Eagles. We talk Sixers. We talk everything about sports that's happening right freaking now. Drop a like, subscribe, comment, and share with a friend to share with a friend. Man, oh man, the Eagles schedule, it just dropped, man. It just dropped, man. And plus the bye week, it is week 1 through week 18. Week 1 through week 18. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And it kind of feels like the NFL season is a minute away, like it's a grip away, but actually it's around the corner. You gotta think, it's May right now. It's mid-May, for real, for real. I don't know about y'all, but May has gone pretty quick. You got OTAs, you got training camp, and then we're gonna be in the NFL season, and y'all know we're gonna go crazy. Gonna go crazy. We're the defending champs. We're the defending champs. So let's just react to this Eagles schedule. It's gonna talk about, this offense too for next season. I got a point I gotta make about a offensive trio, which I believe is the most lethal trio in the league. And hint, hint, it's the Philadelphia Eagles trio. And we're going to say those names. We'll talk about at the end some Sixers talk with Ace Bailey. He might be a third overall pick. It might be VJ Edgecombe. It might be Derek Queen. It might be Dylan Harper. I'm going to give y'all who I got, but you got to stay till the end for that. But we're going to first start off with the Eagles schedule. I'm looking at the Eagles schedule, and the fact that they played the Cowboys first, week 1, is a beauty. Want to know why? Because the Cowboys can look at the Eagles, hang that banner, and you can't pay me enough bread to watch that in person. Shout out StubHub. I'm going to be there, and we're going to see the Eagles hang that banner in front of Dakota Rain Prescott. Oh, I love it. In week 2, we got the Chiefs at Kansas City. A Super Bowl rematch. Now, it was a point in time that the Eagles, they were up 34-0. 34-0. And man, oh man, I cannot wait to, again, get some more get back on them. That's going to be a treat to see the Rams. Jared Verse, Jalen Carter. Woo! Woo! Now, I'll give you, the Rams gave the Eagles a run for their money. You expect them to be better. I expect the Eagles to also have an edge. And man, oh man, that's going to be a game to see. We're always talking about the Buccaneers. And for some reason, the Eagles always face the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay. It's cool, though. It's time for the Eagles to rewrite those narratives and show how Baker, Todd Bowles, they aren't the Eagles, the Birds, kryptonite there. I'm looking down more. You got the Packers, got the Lions, got the Cowboys. Again, obviously our division opponent, got the Chargers. I'm looking at the Eagles versus the Lions in Philly at the Link. I want to see that game. I want to see what the Lions was talking about. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, all these guys. What happened? What happened? Hey, we're going to see it there. I hope each team is healthy. I hope each team is healthy, bro. Because at the end of the day, I want both squads to be at full strength, and I'm going to see both of these squads in person. And we'll see who's on top. We will see who is on top. Bears, Caleb Williams, he got some guys. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. We ain't worried about the Bears, but we're worried about the Chargers. The Chargers in LA. I would love to see that game. Oh my gosh, you got Jalen Hurts versus Justin Herbert. There have been a lot of comparisons. There's been a lot of comparisons, and I want to shut those to bed. And I don't want to sneeze at Jim Harbaugh and what they've been doing with the Chargers in LA. But the Eagles, they are a different beast, and I look forward to the Eagles handling business in LA. That's what I'm looking to see. You got the Raiders, you got the Commanders again. It's funny. They got the Commanders late in the season. I'm here to tell y'all that Eagles at Commanders, that's going to be a sight to see. That's going to be a sight to see. You had Louvu going over the tush push, and sparking a whole lot of controversy there. I want to see them again, and we'll see later on in the season whether or not that will decide the division. But it's so many great games. It's so many great games. And look at this. StubHub has an exclusive offer, y'all, that if you get tickets to the games now, that in that big game in February that the Eagles were just in, you can actually be in the sweepstakes to get tickets to the big game. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. So I would think that you should do that too. And I experienced the Super Bowl. Shout out Pops. Shout out Pops. You gotta think, bruh. My Pops, he ended up getting me tickets to the game. He came with me. Now, part of me thinks that he's a Eagles fan at heart because, man, oh man, that ticket to go to New Orleans to watch the Super Bowl, to watch the Eagles lift that Lombardi trophy, that was a ticket. That was a pretty penny. And he did that. And so I got to go out here and retire him early. That's my goal. So like, comment, subscribe, help me out so I can retire Pops, bro. Shout out KJ. Shout out Pastor. Man, oh man, it was really great. But I know firsthand how it feels to be at the big game. Be at the big game. The Eagles are going to go back to back. So it's only a matter of time. Lock in. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I want to talk about something else too. With the Eagles, I firmly believe that Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and AJ Brown are the best offensive trio in the league. For sure. You got the Bengals, but the thing with the Bengals, they aren't as balanced. I don't know an offense in the NFL that has a superstar quarterback, a superstar wide receiver, and a superstar running back at the level the Eagles have it. And Saquon, Hurts, and AJ, they all complement each other in a beautiful, beautiful way. You got to think about it, bro. AJ Brown is the best receiver in the league. Man-to-man coverage. That's what he does. He always beats his man. Well, guess what? Saquon Barkley, you gotta eventually put a safety down in the box and stack the box to stop him, because Saquon Barkley matched up with that Eagles offensive line. That's a sight to see there that you can't stop if you don't stack the box. So look at this here, bro. With Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and AJ Brown, you got AJ Brown, who is the best receiver in the NFL, man-to-man coverage. You got Saquon Barkley that behind this Eagles offensive line, you have to stack the box. So with that being said, you have a scenario where you got to pick your poison. You don't have an NFL team with these options available at this level of excellence. You got the Ravens that got Lamar and Derrick Henry, and that rushing attack is amazing. But they don't have a wide receiver on AJ Brown's level. You got Joe Burrow, and he got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but they don't have a running back on the level of Saquon Barkley. And so you're looking at the Eagles, and I didn't even mention Jalen Hurts within that RPO game with Saquon. Oh my gosh, it's a sight to see, because you can either let Saquon go for a $160 on the night, or you can go ahead and let Jalen Hurts run for 80-some yards, get 2 tutties, and take you there. And so I firmly believe that the Eagles offensive trio with Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley is the best offensive trio in the league. Because with AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley specifically, you have to pick your poison. You either have to stack the box, or if you double AJ Brown, and AJ Brown is the best receiver on man-to-man coverage, you're at his mercy. You're at his mercy. So it's pick 'em. Do you want Saquon to go for 200 yards, or do you want AJ to go for a $130 and 2 tutties? What you want? And then Jalen Hurts has the best deep ball in the league. Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks pre-snap. Jalen Hurts is amazing in the RPO game. So you can't stop this guy. You can't stop this team. You can't stop this offense. So all you got to do is say, I hope that these guys just have a mental error. Maybe it's an injury, knock on wood. That's not going to happen. But I'm looking at this squad. I'm looking at this offense, and I'm saying, Kevin Patullo, you got a freaking squad, bro. You got a freaking squad, bro. Goddard's coming back. Smitty is here. The whole offensive line outside of Mekhi Becton, who, no disrespect, he is very, very replaceable. He is. Just, we got to get some Mike Kenyon Green, Tyler Steen, go to Stalin University. You'll be good. You'll be good. And so ultimately, this Eagles offense should have a prolific year. A prolific year. But I want AJ Dillon to do this. I want AJ Dillon to go ahead and take the load off of Saquon Barkley. For real. Saquon is an MVP candidate. He's one of the best players in the NFL, but he can't sustain 330 plus carries a season. That's just simply not a recipe for success. It's not. And so we want AJ Dillon, who is one of the best running back twos with Green Bay just last season or a couple years ago. That guy should go ahead and take a bulk of those snaps too. Not the bulk of them, sorry, but should take, I would say, like 30, 35. It can get to 40 some Johns. Like, you want it to be at a higher volume than it was with Kenneth Gainwell there. So we will see that. And it's going to be a sight to see, bro. It really, really is. And I'm looking forward to all of it there. We're going to switch gears. Switch gears to the Sixers. So the Sixers did not get the #1 overall pick. They got the 3rd. That's still a success. It is. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. I know it looks bad now, but this was low-key the second best case scenario for the Sixers. Because if you don't win the championship, you might as well get a high pick. It don't matter if you are in the finals or if you're in the lottery. If you don't win the chip, you're going to Cancun like everybody else, unless you won the chip. And so the Sixers, they ended up getting a head start on their vacation. All right, fine. And it was a abysmal season, but we're also looking at it like, oh, we have an opportunity to draft a franchise changer. And this is a very, very top-heavy draft where you can really get a superstar for your franchise in this top 10. And the Eagles, I said the Eagles and the Sixers, they have a top 3 pick, and they're able to go out here and get a franchise guy. I'm looking at 3 guys. I'm looking at VJ Edgecombe. I'm looking at Ace Bailey. I'm looking at Derek Queen. Some of y'all might say, Derek Queen, yo, you're going to need a front court. You got Jared Allen. You got Evan Mobley. You're going to need a front court. You got Miles Turner. You're going to need a front court, bro. You're going to need one. And we don't know what Joel Embiid is going to be. So that's always going to be an option in terms of upgrading the front court, bro. It's always going to be an option. But also, too, the backcourt. I'm looking at VJ Edgecombe, who I believe has the highest floor outside of Cooper Flagg in this draft. Now, his upside isn't as high as you might say with Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey, but I know for a fact VJ Edgecombe is going to be a perennial all-star. You can book it. You can book it. He is going to be a perennial all-star in the NBA. He is hyper athletic. He will walk into the NBA being one of the most athletic players in the game. He's a hellacious defender. Something that the Sixers are going to need if you have a backcourt of Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey, bro. I mean, some things they just don't have. VJ Edgecombe literally has the intangible, I mean, not the intangibles, just the God-given stuff. Bro, if he can do what he do athletically, he can defend. He's been defending his whole life. And I saw VJ Edgecombe. I know it's Bahamas. I know it's the Bahamas, but he was looking like the best player on the court. And you got DeAndre Ayton, you had Buddy Hield. I mean, and Cuz was like 18, 17 years old, already taking on being the face of his nation, bro. I want that guy on my team. I'm gonna be. I know a lot of y'all like Ace Bailey, and if you do, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. I think if you want to look to his upside and say, well, he could potentially be a Paul George or a Kevin Durant, and you might look at Paul George being his mentor and saying, hey, we can get Ace Bailey, Paul George, who is on a 4-year max extension. He can go out here and mentor Ace Bailey. I'm not going to sneeze at that because I think that's still a good pick. I'm just saying for me, I would rather go with somebody who I know for a fact is going to be a perennial all-star. I know that for a fact with BJ Edcombe. I know that. I know that. I think with Ace Bailey is like he can be a superstar, but he can also be Kyle Kuzma. That's what it is. You don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But I think there's more evidence to say that we can see that with VJ Edgecombe, he can have a higher floor. And I'm sorry, I don't necessarily trust the Sixers to get the highest upside out of somebody. I don't know if I trust them, but I do trust them if somebody has a high floor to then raise that. You feel me? And if your floor is a perennial all-star, that's pretty damn good. VJ Edgecombe is literally Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook reincarnated. I know we got some guards, but look, you go for the best player available. That's what it is. That's what it is. Go for the best player available. So I'm looking forward to that. And last thing before I head off, it sucks that Jason Tatum got injured because I want the Celtics to lose at full strength. So there's no excuses. But I will say this, Joel Embiid, it's a wide open Eastern Conference right now. With Jason Tatum's injury, the Celtics aren't going to be the same team. The Cavs are frauds. The Pacers, I'm not really fearing them if the Sixers are healthy. The Knicks are something that you got to go ahead and worry about because they are nice, but I do believe that if the Sixers are healthy, some way, somehow, they got a real shot, and I would bet on them to beat the Knicks. The Bucks aren't like that. So it's a wide open Eastern Conference. Joel Embiid, this is your prime opportunity to go out here and have a deep postseason run. You're 30, an old 30-something, bruh. And you got to go ahead and maximize this opportunity, bruh. Tatum is out for an extended period of time. You got to go out here and show us something, bruh. You got to, bruh. Come on. Come on. And if the Sixers do this right and nail this draft, oh my gosh, you might have a reinvigorated Paul George. Even if Joel Embiid is at 70%, 75%, 60%, I believe a 60% Joel Embiid with a Sixers 2025 draft class that the Sixers nail and a rising superstar in Tyrese Maxey and Jerry McCain, who was coming off being the rookie of the year, I definitely believe, and Paul George, if he can be a smidge, just a smidge over Tobias Harris, you're talking about a real contender in the Eastern Conference that in a wide open East, I'm picking the Sixers to go out there and represent the East, bro. So that's what it is. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Eagles, Sixers, Hurts, Embiid, Saquon, all that stuff. NYU alum, like, comment, subscribe. Show me some love. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It's Real Talk with AJ, where y'all know I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.